Thank you. Okay, we're going to start off. We're just going to have a conversation between ourselves. So if anybody wants to ask any questions at any point, just put your hand up, butt in, and keep this rolling, because I'm not professional and he's a chef, so we're not used to this. Just going on from what our great compere just said, Stuart, you reached the regional final of Great British Menu, didn't you?
That's right, yeah. A couple of years ago. Was it 2021? So yeah, got through to won the Central Region, got through to the finals. And for those of you that have seen Great British Menu, it's very much about showcasing your location that you're from, your region that you're from. And you know, we'd used Netherton for a long time in the restaurant anyway, but it just seemed to be the perfect platform to showcase, you know, the amazing produce from a culinary perspective, really sourcing local ingredients and all the rest of it. But then also using local cooking equipment and presentation equipment, you know, because to me that sort of fit the bill. So that's where it came in.
Because for you, as a chef, the produce and the equipment are key, aren't they?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, and it's for those of you that haven't seen, I'm going to jump up and you know, phenomenal. So I went down to the down to the Foundry recently, and they have this tag on here, and it all says about being handmade. And one thing that I thought, yeah, it'll be handmade, but it'll be automated to a point, right? Well, I didn't realise, and I totally underestimated just how handmade it truly is. This chap over here literally puts every single rivet, every single hole, every single handle manually on, and if you go over to their stand, you'll see an example of the press they use. And it really is a phenomenal craft that they're doing, and totally underestimated until I went down to the Foundry. So yeah, really inspired when we went down there. And I have the pleasure of making the first, was it? Maybe the second. I think you might have done a prototype, but we'll call it the first for the publicity reasons. Copper Prospector pan, the 8-inch, and absolutely beautiful thing. And we've done some videos, haven't we? So drop onto Netherton's website. Truly brilliant piece of equipment to cook with. You know, all the properties of a copper pan, all the good stuff. The real the induction of the heat, you know, nice and even all the way across. The beautiful tin on the inside, so it was all non-stick. We had a wonderful cheese souffle. It rose up, you know, brilliant. It was meant to be for 4, but I think we ate it between us. And yeah, I mean, truly wonderful. And they have the most amazing selection of all cooking utensils, cooking pans, paella. I've got my eye on that huge big paella pan, and it's just truly wonderful. And I think Neil, all of you all play a really super special part, and it's a real family team effort sort of thing. And I don't know, you know, when you just find a great food producer and they know the source, they know, you know, where the animal was reared right through to the production, and there's many great examples here. These guys do exactly that, but with the pans, and it's just brilliant, isn't it?
It is. Going back to the local produce, you worked for a very famous sweary chef, I believe. Who do you think I'm talking about? Any names? That's the one, yes. So Stuart worked for Gordon, but not locally. And I think there's a lesson to be learned about the produce. We're working a long way from here, isn't there?
Yeah, so I worked with Gordon, I worked with him at Hospital Road in London, and then when he opened in New York, so I went out there and I was the head chef for one of his restaurants over there for 5 years. And you know, you've got the most amazing ingredients, but it's still sourcing local to where you are. I think that's really important. And then Fran and I, after that, we then went and lived in the Middle East for a little time, and everything's imported there. And you know, you're at the jeopardy of the sort of what's imported and what lands on that day. And whilst it sounds all great, and you know, we literally used to fly fruit and veg in from Runge's Market twice a week, but you are at the mercy of what gets flown in, and you know, you lose that opportunity to sort of cherry pick the best of the best. So when we came back to Shropshire and set up our own restaurant, to have this, you know, Riston's another example.
Yes.
Where, you know, they make the aprons, and to be able to talk to them and go and see them and bespoke things, and it's a two-way street. We've done a little bit of development on a couple of your items, and afterwards they're a manufacturer that wants an end product to work. So it's a real joy to be able to sort of work together on that and see it come full circle.
And if you don't know who Risdon and Risdon are, they make the most amazing aprons, and you can find them in the inner bailey next to the fire stage, so do go and give them a bit of love and support as well. So, did it come to any surprise to you then to see Gordon Ramsay using Netherton Foundry pans on the telly with Fred and Gino?
I know. No, absolutely not. It
was a surprise to us. We didn't know. Somebody just said, "Oi, you're on the telly," and there we were.
Well, you see it properly. Anyone that follows your socials, the reach and where these pans and the cooking equipment and the utensils, where they pop up is just amazing. But it is no surprise because it is all about quality, and top chefs, presenters, writers, authors, they want to be using the best. And it's probably the easiest sales pitch in the world. It's not a sales pitch, but it's genuinely, they're just great products. And also you have the most amazing team to call, and if you need a bit of maintenance, we had a pan once that I think we put a little bit over acidic tomatoes in it, so we sort of took a bit of the lining off, but one quick call to Sue and she tells you how to fix it, and away we go again. And it's it's lovely to be able to have that sort of real sort of hands-on and approachable team to work with. It's brilliant.
Well, hats off to Ryan. Hats off to Toby. They're a fantastic team, and I'm sure you've got. Well, I know you've got a fantastic team in the restaurant as well. So,
no, indeed.
If you ever want a very special meal, please go to Docket 33 because it is amazing. It truly is. So forget Gordon Ramsay.
I think the lady in the back just asked. So we have a Docket restaurant up in Whitchurch, so north, right at the top of the county. Docket number 33. So a 10-course tasting menu, super local ingredient, locally inspired, really seasonal. But yeah, check us out on social media or where you can. And then we'll be over on the cooking stage, the What's Cooking stage, at midday today. I'm demonstrating 3 dishes, and we'll be using the Netherton cookware for a lot of that. So,
because what's important to us is not the pans in themselves. We take a huge amount of pride in making them, and a handmade pan is something very special. But it's the relationship that the people who then go on to use them have. And it's not simply Gordon Ramsay or Marcus Waring or name drop. Somebody told me I needed to carry a dustpan and brush around with me because I dropped so many names everywhere I went. But no, it's people like yourselves. And we have so many people who come and see us at food festivals year on year and say, "Do you remember me? I bought this one last year. I want another one this year." It's the people who write to us and show us pictures of what they've cooked for their dinner.
Yep.
The people who say, "I've never cooked a better loaf of bread." And it's making those connections with people who are using the pans, who have a real enthusiasm for what they're cooking. Because you can wander around this food festival, buy amazing food, but if you then take it home and put it in a rubbishy pan, you're losing some of the specialness of, is that a word? But the specialness of the food that you bought. You're just treating it like a lump of supermarket mince or whatever. So that's what's important to us. It's your relationship with the pan once it leaves us, and we want people to love them like Stuart loves them. And we don't want to just be known as those fancy people who talk about top chefs all the time.
But no, they truly are. I mean, as you say, with the loaf tins, we bought a couple as a Christmas gift for Fran's sister, and it is that you cook it and then you get a better product. And there's those thin, flimsy aluminium things that we won't talk about, but they just don't give the same effect. It's like a decent non-stick pan. If you have a average one or a really good one, they are quite different in their approach. So again, the copper that you've just been working on, the cooking ability on those is unbelievable. And you know, I'll be honest, I was a little apprehensive at first. I wasn't sure how they were going to perform, but they're as good as anything, if not better, than I've ever used.